to Candlepin Stars and Strikes here at Park Place Lanes in Wyndham. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. This is week 3, quarterfinal week, if you will, in this ladder series. And Tom Morgan has won the first 2, and today he runs across someone I think we could fairly say is a juggernaut.
Yes, it's probably his biggest test to date, although the last 2 weeks he's been behind going to the third game, and he's got the marks when he needed them, and he's got 2 in a row, and this week Steve Vadney.
All right, let's meet the 2 bowlers. You just heard the name, and if you've been watching the program for any time at all, you know the name by heart. Steve Vadney from Claremont, New Hampshire, with us once again. He's with us every once in a while, it seems. He never stays away long, and here he is again.
Okay, and he carries 126 average, and we mentioned he's from Claremont, high single 197, and he's 672 to qualify for the show.
And altogether, this is Steve's 21st appearance on our show. He has won 15 and lost 5 in his previous appearances, including some competition in doubles play as well. All right, our 2-time defending champion, looking for number 3 in a row, Tom Morgan.
Steve's 15 and 5, but this guy's undefeated. And he's batting 1,000. He's been on the show, started 2 weeks ago. He's won 2 matches. He's looking for his 3rd, and that's Tom Morgan.
And he's been more than 20 pins behind in each of these first 2 matches.
Yeah, he's really come on strong that 3rd game. I wouldn't want to be 20 pins behind Steve Vadney, though, going in 1.
All right, we have $80 coming up in the bonus ball jackpot at the end of the show. We'll give you that address to send in your postcards. And we'll also have string number 1 of our 3-string match here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Should be a good one. Tom Morgan and Steve Vadney. We will start it right after this message. Once again, a look at the business here on this series of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. The 2 wins for Tom Morgan have been over Clarence Davis, the number 6 seed, and last week Al Bolduc, the number 4 seed, fell. So now it's Steve Vadney's turn. The winner of this match will face Bill Wright next week. And in 2 weeks, our ladder championship match, Gary Carrington, the number 1 seed, will be here for that one against whoever survives these next 2. This should be a real good one. You know, sometimes we tend to look at matches on paper, and maybe sometimes they don't live up to the advanced billing, but this one should be a real good one, as Steve Vadney starts things off with a half Worcester.
Wasn't your fault, Steve. It was Doug's. Right back. That 5-pin win, he might have converted that for a spear.
We'll take an 8. Start things off. It would take from now until the end of the show at this point to run down all of Steve's previous appearances on the show, but suffice to say that he's done his fair share of winning. 15 and 5 in his previous 20 appearances. His last appearance, though, was a loss, and it was not that long ago. Check that after Steve tries to negotiate this leave.
1, 2, 4, and 10. Waiting for the wood to settle down in front of the 10. Now he's set. Well, he was. Oh, nice shot. Worth the wait. First mark of the match. You see the replay, splits the 1 and the 2. Head pin just catches the 10 on the way by. Tommy Morgan.
Tom doesn't like to lead the race. Once the other jockeys go out and establish the pace, and then right around that quarter pole, he starts making some noise. We'll start with a 10. 396 2 weeks ago for Tom against Clarence Davis. Last week a 370 against Al Bolduc. And it was the 3rd string each time that got the job done. 2 weeks ago he had a 159, including a double strike. Last week he had a 137, including his final mark, which came in the 8th box, which was really the mark that clinched it for him. The conversion of a spread eagle with no wood. And it happens rarely enough as it is, but when you make it to win a match, basically, which is what he did last week, that's really something.
Steve Vadney filling on the spare up in the 2nd frame.
Steve's last appearance, January 31st of this year, when he came in also as the number 3 seed, and something that doesn't happen very often. He lost his first appearance in that sequence as he lost to Dennis Shute, 359 to 342. Steve just didn't have a very productive day that day. He only had 1 string above his average. and only 9 marks in the 3 strings, which is certainly well below what he's done here.
A little full in the head pin that time. 247 on the left with the 10 pin. 43 after 3 for Steve Vadney. Trying to split the 2 and the 4. Oh, he's a little heavy in the 2, but it went straight up in the air and came down in the 10 pin.
3 in a row for Steve Vadney. Tom Morgan looking for his first mark. He'll shoot at the 5, 6, 10.
Let's see if he can carry the ball off. The problem here is the 5 pin.
Ball? No. Thought maybe the ball would snap back. It'll be another 10. And again, same pattern developing here. Tom Morgan trails early in the match.
Half first or left.
Be a 9 box. Steve working on another mark. He's got 3 in a row.
Three, 6 left. Let's be careful. If he splits these, the ball might cap that piece of wood and go around the 6. Now he played it far enough to the left on the 3 pin, so the wood actually helped him. 4 in a row. All spares.
Guess Steve didn't enjoy losing much last time he was here. 1 open frame to start, and then 4 marks in a row.
Wants that 7 pin to go. Oh, wow.
Steve jumping up and down.
Did he jump up and down? I
No,
was watching
just
the monitor.
a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, just kind of a
I
little.
remember that. Yeah.
I don't think you'd really call it a jump. It was kind of like a very subtle move there. It didn't matter. He got it anyway.
I was watching the monitor. I had to ask Steve about that. What's that little move you got there?
Well, Tom is right where he wants to be. More than 20 pins down. I don't think he would have liked it to happen this early, though. Plenty of time, of course, but Steve is off to a great start, and Tom is still looking for his first mark. And he actually now is down by 32.
He's got to start a little earlier with the likes of Steve Vadney. Taking nothing away from the previous 2 bowlers that he defeated, Clarence Davis and Al Bolduc, in previous weeks. But Steve has been here so much, and he gets his nose in front. He's going to be a tough one to catch.
Oh, wow.
Nice try.
The ball just missed, and then the wood just took it. Just took a little bit of a dive over onto the, out into the pit, and just never reached the 10 pin. He almost had it. Steve Vadney with 5 in a row. Nothing spectacular, just very consistent.
Quietly, 78.5. That's all. Right back on the head pin. And a 5 fill this time. And a different kind of leaf. 2, 4, 5, 7 with the 10 pin on the right. Play the wood and the 2 pin. Just like that. And oh, the wood stopped it.
Blocked it, yep.
The second piece of wood prevented that first piece from knocking that 10 pin down and making it 6 marks in a row. So the storm is over temporarily for Tom Morgan.
103 through 8. Let's take a look at that spare attempt now by Steve.
Watch the 2 pieces of wood. That's just stopped it. Second piece was going to take that 10, I think.
Right,
Oh,
back in the
boy.
pocket again. Oh, what a pretty
Another
shot
storm
that was.
brewing.
Wow. The forecast does not look good here for Tom Morgan.
right through the middle. There's the eagle, the spread eagle that he converted last week for a win. This time he's got a piece of wood in between.
Now he only loses 1 pin in that box, but now he's opposite a strike.
39 pins. 4 horsemen to the left. 1, 2, 4, and 7. And really, he's got to start marking. Off target.
Pinning pretty well, 74 through 8. But losing ground to Steve Vadney, who left 2 pins standing in the first box and hasn't left any since then. This is on a strike, remember? Be a 6 fill. And an 8 box.
There you see Steve's marks, and I don't think he'd probably be happy with some of the fills. 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 127 box to go.
4 horsemen left for Steve. Steve's average 126.
Oh, everything but the 7.
Well, this will be the first real opening. Tom's ready to go. He was on his way up before Steve finished that box. 137. And a big first ball that time right in the Brooklyn pocket for Tom. Looking for his first mark of the match. No wood here on the 3 and the 6. And he's got it. What he'd like to have is a big fill and another mark.
It's pretty good. Light hit. Let's see, 7, 8, 10. He's going to go at the 7 pin. Hopefully catch all the wood.
A lot could happen on this shot.
Just whether or not he can get enough of the wood in front of the 7. Oh, he missed it. Yeah, he kind of threw his hands up. He knew he had to hit the piece of wood in front of the 7 pin. And that's going to be a 9.
For an even 100, he does pick up 9 pins in those last 2 boxes, but 137 to 100, the difference after 1 string. We'll be back with our contest address. Get a pen and paper ready. Tell you how you can win some money here on Stars and Strikes. Don't go away. Pins you think will be dropped at the end of the program on our bonus ball. If the number matches the number of pins that drop, you win the jackpot. And even if you don't win the jackpot, you'll win a TV50 NHCBA desk pen from the N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon, Massachusetts. Mail those postcards into Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire. The zip code is 03087. And again, a reminder, regular size postcards only, the small format postcards only, please. The others we have to throw away. We want everybody to have an equal chance. All right, Tom Morgan, ready to go. Second string. Trailing by 37 after the first string. Right there, and he takes it out for a spare.
It's off target the first ball, but he came right back in the 1-3 pocket, trips the 5 for the spare. And well, a little bit of a break there. 2-4-7 with the 9.
It's certainly a little easier this way than it was the other way.
Tough piece of wood out front now, though. Yeah. Oh,
it comes this way. Won't happen.
Moved off the spot, though. Almost pushed the 4 backwards into the 2.
Now, Tom gets 1 mark in that first pair, and I'm sure that makes him feel a little bit better. Steve Vadney with that 137 actually down. It was a very kind of an unusual 137. He had 6 marks and 5 of them in a row, and so he had a good string, but it could have been a lot better. Had a 5 fill, a 6 fill, a 6 fill on a strike. Uh-oh.
He looks to me a little timid throwing the ball. He usually doesn't throw real hard, but he looks like usually throws a little harder than he's throwing right now.
$6.
So there goes 10 of those pins in a hurry.
Oddly, he threw a half Worcester left in the first frame of the first game, too.
That looked like he had a little more steam on the ball. However, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Oh, what a shot.
That's a great shot. The wood was not a factor at all as he buried that one right in the 4-7 pocket.
Watch the 4-pin. Jumped into the 8, came back for the 5. Nice shot by Steve Vadney.
Tom Morgan looks to be throwing a little bit harder himself.
Well, he's probably said, I'm going to get beat. Let me get beat my way and just go after him. Be a little aggressive out there. 3-10. Got the 3, left the 10.
It's a 9 for Tom.
A hop, skip, and a jump on that one.
Boy, he seems to make out pretty well when he has trouble dropping the ball like that. This time he'll shoot at the 4-10. The wood is not properly angled. We'll see how he tries it.
I think he's going to have to go back to the wood in front of the 4-pin. Now, let's try to snap it off the left sidewall. Didn't have the good angle, as you mentioned, on the second piece of wood.
And he'll steal the 10-pin for a 10 bucks. Steve Vadney on a mark. He has 7 already. Big 9 drop.
Everything but the 5. Covers the 5, 2 in a row. And this is where we started the first game. A string of 5 spares in a row. Well, interesting. 5-6 wants the wood to turn a little bit. And it may have. Well, he's got 2 choices: go way left and sweep the wood across, or go at the 5-pin, clip the wood on the way through, and I think that's the way he'll try. Yeah, going right through, drive the ball straight through.
Well, he's got a little run going again, 3 in a row as we head to a break here. Steve Vadney in the lead and adding more here in string number 2. We'll be back in a minute. Box number 5. Second string for Tom Morgan. Look better.
Yeah, didn't get much off the ball there. 2, 4, 7 on the left. 6, 10 on the right.
Tom taking the 2 in the corner. Doesn't want to have a bad box.
He's really got to start some offense halfway through. And
that might not have been a break with that 3-pin going down.
6-10 with the 8. Almost got to cap the wood in front of the 6 and 10. Whoa.
Tom's really having to work for every pin in this match. But remember, it wasn't until the 3rd string in both of the previous weeks that he was able to catch fire. Takes the 10. Steve Vadney now will come up working on a spare. What else is new?
Off to the left a little bit. Not a bad break, though. 6. Leaves himself to 1, 3, 7, and 10. 6 fill. 59 after 4. Increases his lead by another 14.
Oh, that looked like a great shot. I thought maybe he had it.
Just a little heavy on the head pin. Wasn't enough to go down and clear out the 7 pin.
Right where he was last time. 78.5 for Steve Vadney. That is if I were scoring. But it's a 68.5.
Tom Morgan is glad you're not.
Luckily, Dottie is up there and she can add.
I don't know, 59 and 9 is 78.
Seemed to make sense. Oh, Steve let that one get away.
No, a couple open frames.
Boy, 4 horsemen right, 8 pin in the back, no wood.
Just isn't in the good rhythm right now. That's a good looking ball going in, everything but that 8 pin.
That was buried in the pocket, and somehow the 5 pin stays. That ball was really locked in that 1-3 pocket.
That's how his luck is going today, though. Is the wood is, well, he's got a shot at the 5, but you can't, with the camera angle, you can't see that, but he can clearly hit the 5.
Oh, and he corrected too much. Wanted to make sure he didn't hit the wood.
Oh boy, yeah. Now he knows that probably would come off the wall anyways. But he's going to have a Garrison finish if he's going to make it 3 in a row.
It'll stay there. 4 pin rocking. Wood appeared to just clip it as it was going out into the pit and almost took it out. Right there. Again, Steve has not made any spectacular shots, but he's made every shot that's been presented to him as a legitimate spare opportunity.
Through the middle, 3 fill. Just goes about business, that's all, and just before you know it, you're 20, 30 pins behind or more.
And again, now he has to insure against a bad box here.
Yeah, he didn't gain anything. He's opposite 2 10 boxes, and he got a spare 3 with a 7. That's 20 pins. So Tom Morgan didn't lose anything, but he didn't gain any, and that's what he's got to start doing.
And again, incredibly, the 5 pin stays standing.
It's unfortunate he had a bad piece of wood the last shot.
This time the wood is in back.
Yeah, and we've still got a whole game to go, but this is a crucial mark. He's got to be able to cut into that 37 pin lead going into the 3rd game.
Skipped it.
Yeah, yep.
There it was. Well, no telling how much ground he might have made up if he had made both of those marks. And now a split on top of it, the big 5.
That picture says it all. Tom just shaking his head. And 8-101. Well, if my theory is right that any given day there's only so many marks allotted to a person, seems like he should have quite a few going through the 3rd game.
Steve Vadney on the head pin again, but it's a split. 3, 4, 6. No wood.
Coming up on our next taping session, too, if you're interested in coming down and watching us, it'll be April 26th.
And I'm glad you brought it up, because not only is it our next taping, it's also our last taping for this season, and it will be mixed doubles.
That's always exciting, the mixed doubles. So if you're in the area, take a day off. Call in sick, call in work sick, you know, anything. You just get down here.
Well, if mixed doubles and the last taping of the year aren't enough to bring you down here, as Steve converts another spare in the 10th, it is also Hawaiian Shirt Day for the crew, their annual celebration of the coming of spring.
Is it true that anyone wearing a Hawaiian shirt can get in for free, Doug?
Yes, but it's also true that anyone not wearing a Hawaiian shirt will get in for free, too. So,
well, I guess I'm sold. I'll be here.
6 on the mark for Steve in the 10th and a 122. And there's the picture, a bleak one indeed for Tom Morgan, as he's been making a practice of coming from behind. He'll need a big third string. We'll see if he can get things straightened out and put on a charge here in the third game after we take this time out. With 1 string to go here on Stars and Strikes, our quarterfinal match of this series championship, and Steve Vadney has a 58-pin lead.
Next week's challenger will be Bill Wright from New Hampton, New Hampshire. First time on the show.
And in 2 weeks, it'll be series championship time. Gary Carrington, our #1 seed, will be here for that one.
It is also very close to Summer League sign-up time. So if you people would like to join a Summer League, contact your nearest New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association house and ask them what leagues they have available in the summer. It's a nice place in Concord, and I've got a few openings if anyone wants to come up there.
Another reminder, too, about the NHCBA State Championship. New Hampshire State Championship of Bowling, which is continuing every weekend now through early June, and it's not too late to sign up for some events. So what you should do is visit your closest New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association house, pick up an entry form, and see when the events you're interested in will be held. All events will be held here at Park Place Lanes in Wyndham, and they continue through the first weekend in June, so it's something you should check into. And also, you should keep in mind that there are scratch and handicap divisions for the events in the state championship, so don't worry if you're not a scratch bowler. That does not make a difference. You can still get in on it. Oh, and Tom Morgan, who's been victimized by bad fortune throughout this show, has another one get away from him there, and he settles for a 10 box, and there aren't many boxes remaining for Tom.
You got to mount the offense right away, being this many down, and he hit the shot. He just didn't carry that back pin.
Here's another chance, the 5-9. Struggling, but still plugging away.
Well, he's that type of guy. He's not going to give up until it's mathematically over. He'll keep firing.
What he really could use is a double. That would cut into the lead in a hurry. But of course, that doesn't take into account what Steve Vadney might do, and he doesn't show any signs of slowing down particularly. Spare in the third.
You never have enough. This game can turn around so quickly. Double, triple strike, and it's, you know, you never have enough.
Steve was fortunate there. That could have been a half Worcester or worse.
What that might be. Worse
Been
than
a punch out of the two, perhaps. Oh, gets it for the spare.
The ball hung around just long enough to take the 10-pin with it.
The pin, one of the pins that fell, hit the ball and swerved it over to the 10 pin. On a spare, Tom Morgan with the strike. Well, there's one.
This is a quick one.
Tom doesn't take much time between shots. That time he went through the middle. He's certainly capable of throwing strikes. There's no question about that.
Oh, almost.
Oh, wow. Boy, that would have been a confidence builder. Well, he's picked up a little ground here early in the third, but he's got a lot of work left to do, and we will take a timeout and come back with more here on Stars and Strikes in just a minute. Steve Vadney to fill a spare in the fourth. Oh, you can almost see that coming as soon as he let it go, right through the center in a 4-fill.
Well, I think he's going to go after the 2-pin. That was the shot. Try to make a gamble on that second ball. Now you want to grab as many as you can. Stay away from the bad frames.
Tom Morgan has made up 12 pins. Still needs a big finish, trailing by 46. Steve again full on the head pin. This time caught a better break, though. He's left with a spare leave, the 2 and the 4. Right there.
Steve's bowled long enough to realize that every time he puts a mark up, that's not only one more mark that Tom has to get, but it's one less frame that Tom has to work with.
Tom just isn't getting the leaves either.
No, it's funny how that goes. Yeah, nice 10.
Wow,
Nice 10.
how about that? Well, he's been threatening to make shots like that all day. This is for a 10 box, may not have any effect on the outcome, but what a conversion that is. Right back with a 9 drop now and more wood in front. Look at this. Wood is just sliding over. Still could carry it. Does.
Straight back. Nice shot by Tom Morgan. Matches a spare up by Steve, but you really need some strikes.
Steve Vadney working on his 14th mark of the match. Steve has not had a particularly good day with fills, though. He's had a 3-fill, a 4-fill, a couple of 5s, several 6s.
Oh, everything but the sleeper in the back, the 8-pin.
Big strike. Ooh. That may make things pretty well impossible for Tom Morgan.
No, he's got to throw strikes now.
6-fill on a spare for Tom. This could go. Nope, 10-pin. Boy, just can't get that strike.
No.
Had one earlier, and
most times you'd be happy with 9-pin drops. You got to shoot at spares, or got a shot at a spare. But in this case, the only thing that help him is strikes. Reaching the point where it's going to be mathematically impossible. Spare up now, 9 and the 8th for Tom. through the middle. Spread eagle for Steve Vadney.
Six fill on the strike. Steve won't really like the look of this string when he looks at it after it's over. He's had 4 marks, including a strike, and he's only at 104 through 9.
I believe he's got 14 or 15 marks.
15 now.
And usually with that many marks, you're well over 400. And he's not going to reach 400. So a win is a win. It's not the prettiest thing that Steve done, but he's got a lot of marks. He's made the cut shots, and he's got the marks when he needed them. And of course, Tom had a real tough time getting on track the first and second games with 100 and 101. And that was enough to spell victory for Steve Vadney, who will go on next week again against Bill Wright from New Hampton, New Hampshire. First time on the show.
Big 9 drop. 123 and a 382 for Steve Vadney. A quiet 382, if that's possible.
That'll mathematically do it.
Yeah.
The strikeout.
Even that wouldn't have been enough, actually. Had a 175 possible if he had been able to strike out, and that would have left him 6 pins short.
That's right.
So Tom Morgan, who had a very nice run for himself, 2 wins, both come from behind wins. Makes you look like a prophet right now. You mentioned it'd be tough to fall behind Steve Vadney and win, and that's exactly what happened.
I'm sure we were kidding about Tom liked to come from behind. I don't think he really likes that. This just happened those 2 weeks, and he'd much rather be ahead. This week it didn't happen.
132 final string for Tom and a 333 final tally, and there's the story. Up on the big board, Steve Vadney knocks off Tom Morgan, ends his 2-match winning streak. We'll be back to talk to the bowlers. We've got $80 in the bonus ball contest coming right up. Don't go away. We're going to talk to both bowlers in just a second, but Steve Vadney, obviously, it was kind of a, and we'll talk to him about it in a minute, it was an interesting match because he had all the marks. He finished up with 16 marks, yet he wound up in the 380s. Never really made what you would call a very difficult shot, but he made all the shots that he had to make.
Yeah, we're sitting here saying a 385 is, you know, hash, but it's
Right.
not. It's a good total, but for the number of marks, I think Steve will elaborate on it, that he got the marks, and he hit the head pin on most of the marks, but didn't get the big fills that he's normal. And like I said, the closing of the show, that many marks, you're usually well over 400.
What did you think about, was there anything particularly wrong for Tom in his form, or was it just a question? He did have a lot of spare leaves. He had a lot of tough breaks, too.
Yeah, the wood wasn't good to him this match. He got off to a real slow start, and I think when your opponent opens up with 5 in a row and you struggle, you start to press a little bit, and you come out the third string relaxed a little bit, but it was a little too much.
All right, let's meet both bowlers now. First of all, let's have a big round of applause for Tom Morgan. He won his first 2 appearances on the show, and all the folks here from Lynn, I know, are happy about that, although it's not successful for you this time, Tom, but the check for $100, and we appreciate your being here. It was a great run, and then today, just the breaks weren't there.
No, not at all. He got to a fast start, and I started pressing a little bit and couldn't get anything going.
What did you make any changes this time? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but
I gave up on those. Just got no breaks. No breaks. And he threw the ball very well. He never gave me a chance to get back in the match at all. So
seemed like every time you had a good spare leave, a piece of wood moved right in front.
yeah, that happened early. But like I said, he was making all the marks, and I didn't make mine. What are you gonna do?
Well, the Morgan family finally loses one.
Yeah, that's all. I hope it's only one though. Okay.
Tom, thanks a lot. Good luck. We appreciate having you, and we hope to see you again.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, Tom Morgan from Lynn. After 2 successful appearances, falling victim today to Steve Vadney, who now is going to get us started over here for the bonus ball. We've got $80 in the jackpot. And, well, let's see. We're going to have a 3 this time. Got any 3s in there, Dan? Ooh, not too far away. It's a 5 for George Harris, the George Harris family, actually, from Manchester, New Hampshire. So George and family, not a match, but you'll be getting a TV50 NHCBA desk pen in the mail. And Steve, I don't know if you heard us talking about the fact that you had the 16 marks, yet the match score really maybe not as much as you might have expected it would be.
Yeah, I was down. I had some low counts on some max, 3, 4 fills, and like right there. Head pin 3, no break, George, right?
Well, still, you made the marks that you had to make. I mean, I guess it's similar like beating an opponent you have to beat when you play a lesser team in a team sport. All the real legitimate spare opportunities you had, you made.
Yeah, and Tom wasn't getting too many breaks either. He had a lot of bad wood, and he missed a couple of singles there that when I thought if he had those, it was, you know, he was going to come back, but that's the way it goes, I guess.
All right, next week we have a newcomer coming in. Bill Wright will be your opponent in the semifinal round, and Gary Carrington is waiting 2 weeks from now. So another win, nothing new for you, business as usual, 16 of them now, and we'll see you next week.
Right. I think I lost the last time. It's good to be back on the winning track.
Okay. We had a feeling it wouldn't be long. Thanks, Steve. Congratulations. We'll see you next week. And that match next week, as we take a look at our ladder right now, bring you up to date on what's been going on. Of course, Tom Morgan with those first 2 wins today, dropping one to Steve Vadney. Again, the final score 382 to 333 in favor of Steve, and so he will move on now. And Bill Wright, our number 2 seed from New Hampton, New Hampshire, will be in next week.
That has to be a little scary. First time on the show, and who do you have to bowl? It's Steve Vadney, but could end up being a giant killer or something. You know, if he is able to knock Steve off or something, it's got to be a boost to his confidence going to the championship round, but he's going to be a tough opponent.
And of course, without the match in the bonus ball contest, that means we'll add $10 more. It'll be $90 next week, so if you don't have those cards in, get them into us. We're going to have money building up, it appears. We just haven't even come close to a match for quite a while. So we'll have $90 in the bonus ball next week, and our semifinal match in this series will be Steve Vadney looking for 2 in a row against our number 2 seed, Bill Wright. So we hope you'll join us then. Till next weekend, for Dan Murphy and the whole TV 50 Sports crew, Doug Brown saying bye-bye, everybody.